Welcome to the Saturday morning preview show here on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Kerry Pollock, Tam McManus and Alan Ruff are here with me. Before we get into the game, guys, November is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We encourage men to speak and talk to each other. Just thought I'd ask you both, how's the week been? How are we both feeling?
Yeah, been great. Yeah, we've been out and about. I played golf on Monday and Wednesday, and I liking it, having a wee walk and just sampling the lovely weather that's out there.
You think the walk clears your head when you get
Yeah,
out
it certainly does. It's good. Depends who you're with right enough. You know, we chat and it's good to be out and about.
No, I'm the same. I was playing golf on Wednesday and I've had a good week. But I encourage anyone, as you said, going out for a walk with your pals, go for a coffee. As we said, a lot of mental health with men at the minute and women, but men in particular are tending to bottle it up. So if you get any issues, try and speak to somebody about it.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a look at the football then. Back to league matters for all clubs this weekend before we go into another international break. Celtic and Rangers both in action tomorrow. However, let's start today, Tam, with Aberdeen and Dundee. The Dons look to bounce back from their thrashing of Celtic, and Dundee hope to make it back-to-back victories for the first time this season. How do we see this one going?
Yeah, it's a very interesting game. I think that obviously Aberdeen were on a crest of a wave before the semi-final. Unbeaten. I'm interested to see how they react to that heavy defeat. You know, sometimes when teams are on a long unbeaten run, after they lose one, you know, it can knock their confidence a wee bit, unbelievably, because they've been on a good run. But interested to see how Aberdeen react at Dundee. As you said, good result last week, coming back for 2-0 down, it'll give them confidence. But I still think Aberdeen will nick it. I think they've just run into a very good Celtic team at Hampden. And I think back at Pittodrie, fans behind them, I think they're capable of beating Dundee, and I think they'll beat them comfortably 2-0.
As Tam says there, Ruffy, it was a bit of a revenge result against Kilmarnock last weekend for Dundee, but this is a chance for Jimmy Tulane to see how his players react after that heavy defeat.
Yeah, exactly what Tam's saying. All week he'll be telling them to forget about that Celtic game. They're a different class for everybody else. You know, it's the games against Dundee and the likes that are going to get them second or third or where he thinks they're going to end up. So it is a big important game for them because the fans will be there in numbers. They'll get right behind their side. So it's one of the games that they have to win.
What do you think?
I'm going to go 3-0. 3-0.
Did you say 2?
2-0.
2-0, right, okay. Motherwell face St Johnstone. Simo Valakari returns to Fir Park for the first time in 24 years, Tam. But emotion aside, he says, and he's just happy that they've levelled out the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably playing around about when he was playing, and Motherwell's park was terrible. Fir Park, there was a slope, it was always bobbly and rubbish. But for the last couple of seasons, it's probably been one of the best pitches in the league. Fair play to Motherwell, they've invested in it. They've seem to have a very good ground staff, and they've got a great pitch. So Simo Valakari was a bit of a legend, a bit of a cult hero at Motherwell. I think over the last 5-10 years, every time Motherwell sacked a manager, every Motherwell fan wanted him to be the manager. Unfortunately, he comes back with St Johnstone, but I can see goals in this game. I think St Johnstone have been pretty positive in their outlook. I thought they were a wee bit unfortunate last week against Hearts. I thought they could have probably deserved a draw with the chances they had. And I'm going to go for goals in this, 2 each.
2 each, right then. Motherwell will brush the defeat at the hands of Rangers roughly to the side. Stuart Kettlewell says it was lack of conviction and poor decision making that cost them. How does a team like Motherwell take the next step in those big occasions?
Well, you just practice during the week. You practice at the things that you're not. He thinks they're not doing particularly well, and you just keep doing it and hopefully it gets right on the Saturday or the Sunday whenever you're playing. I think both teams, like Tam said, have got goal scorers in them. I think there will be goals in this game. I like the way that St Johnstone are playing, the two up front with Nicky Clark just behind them. So I might have to agree with Tam here. I think this might be 2 each.
All right, a rare occasion, both same scoreline. All right, Hibernian take on St Mirren, Tam. If this is a defeat for David Gray, is this the one that breaks the camel's back? How are we thinking?
I'm like probably every Hibs fan at the minute. I'm just kind of scunnered with the team. Bottom of the league, it's just been a disaster for a year and a half, 2 years since they sacked Jack Ross. They've been through 4 or 5 managers. They need to stick with a manager, been consistent on that, but at the same time, he's got to get results. I mean, you can't just say, I'm going to stick with the manager if you're bottom of the league. So it's a big game for David Gray and Hibs. I feel as if I'm seeing it every week. They need to start putting teams away. They're not scoring enough goals, Hibs, which, as I said before, is unusual for a Hibs team. They're usually score goals but leak them at the other end. They've been pretty tight this season, Hibs. They've not conceded that many. Going to need to score 2 goals for me. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet, and I think they will. And I think they'll finally get over the line this weekend with a 2-1
Are they caught between a rock and a hard place because the Gordon family and the board have come out and says we can't keep sacking the managers, but with the position they're in, will they be left with no choice?
Listen, I think that when you look at the Gordon family and you look at Ben Kensel and you look at the managers that went through, I think the supporters are starting to look at them now. They're appointing the managers. You can't keep blaming the managers. You look at some of the guys that have went away and done well elsewhere. So I think Malky Mackay and Ben Kensel are under just as much pressure as David Gray, because if they pull the trigger on David, there'll be a lot of supporters saying, right, you've got to go as well because you appointed them. So yeah, it's I really hope Hibs get a win and start getting up the table, because as I said to you, there's a real apathy about Hibs at the minute among the supporters.
Yeah, Ruffy, St Mirren, though, they're having their problems of their own on and off the pitch. Will Stephen Robinson be telling his players, just get over the line in this game and let's get into this international break and we'll regroup?
Yeah, I think everybody likes to go into the international break with a win under the belt. You know, it means you're going away happy for a fortnight. You know, you probably give the players a few days off, but it's all about getting that win. He's going to go there. He'll know that Hibs are vulnerable at this particular time. You know, I agree with Tam. Two goals will have to be what Hibs will get, but it's got to turn sometime. You can't keep missing the chances you're missing and losing the goal at the back. And unfortunately for the manager, he is a bad result away from a decision being making, and it's usually a home result. So I hope it doesn't happen at home and he gets a win. So I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0 Hibs, and you said
2-1 Hibs.
2-1 Hibs, all right then. Tomorrow, before we get to tomorrow, Dundee United against Ross County. I think I'm right in saying, Tam, if Dundee United and St Mirren both win today, they go ahead of Rangers before they play tomorrow. As a player, did you like playing on the Sunday, knowing what you had to get or where you were in the table, or did you rather?
No, I'd rather play on a Saturday. Obviously, I wasn't usually the old firm that's going for it neck and neck.
Yeah.
But even if you were down the bottom at times and you picked your result up, then you were thinking, right, they could drop points. So I'd always rather points on the board. This game, Dundee United, you know, I'd fancy Dundee United home. I'm convinced about Ross County away from home. I know they got a good point against St Mirren away from home, but I thought they were fortunate with St Mirren missing a penalty. So I think Dundee United will win this comfortably. I go 2-0 Dundee United. 2-0
Dundee United. Ross County, as Tam says there, Ruffy, they've kind of fell off track a little bit. Just 1-1 in the last 7, and after the break they've got Motherwell, Celtic and then Rangers.
Yeah, they're stuffy to a certain extent. You know, they usually first 15-20 minutes, if they think they're maybe try and get something out of the game, they spoil the game a wee bit. Away from home, that is. They've got goal scorers as well, but I think Dundee United are, you know, just nearly where he wants them to be. You know, I don't think the consistency's there yet, but with a home advantage, I think they will win this one. I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0, right then. Tomorrow, Kilmarnock take on Celtic. Dennis McInnes says, despite Celtic's absolute rampant performances, Tam, we're going to still have a go. Is that what you like to see, teams playing in the attacking sense, providing that they're solid enough at the back?
Yeah, I think there's ways of going about it. I think Derek's an experienced manager. He'll know that he can't go gung-ho against Celtic and be wide open, but when there's opportunities to attack, they will. They'll make Celtic defend. It's a tough place to go, I always say that, the pitch. I know they're keeping it for another season. The pitch is a tough pitch to go down and get a result. Celtic have been decent down there, but they lost last season, if I can remember at the start of last season. So I just don't see Celtic coming off the pace at the minute. They've just got so much competition, so much quality in their squad. They'll make a few changes and they'll just go down there and I think they'll win comfortably again. They're playing with so much confidence. 3-0 to Celtic for me.
Too good for you, Ruffy, as well?
Yeah, I think they'll have to fight for it. You know, I think Kilmarnock early on in the game will cause, if they get possession of the ball, I think Matty Kennedy and Armstrong on the other side will cause problems because the two Celtic fullbacks like to get forward, and if he plays with two up front, they'll battle away as well. But I think the loss of Finlay for Kilmarnock's a massive blow. You know, I think he's been a big player for them, and Celtic midfield to front are much better than and Kilmarnock, so I'm going to go Celtic 2-0.
Celtic 2-0. Finally then we have Rangers against Hearts. A positive result for Rangers in Europe and a positive first half for Hearts, Tam, in their European competition. Philippe Clement says he feels his side should have won that game. A few changes, James Tavernier coming on in the latter stages. As a player, do you know when it's getting near the end, when other players are a wee bit quicker, your recovery's a bit longer?
Yeah, I think that James is... I think his time's coming to an end at Rangers. I know he's got a testimonial at the end of the season. He would try to hang on to the end of the season. I don't see him going anywhere in January, but yeah, I just think he looks as if he's lost a yard or two of pace, and you know, it's extenuated when you're playing against quick players, and that's been Maida's kind of destroyed him in the last couple of times we've played. I think they're going with more physical players in the right back area. They could maybe put him on wide right that they've done it the other night in the Europe. But I think his time's coming to an end. I don't think he's going to be first choice full back, and he's a captain, so Yeah, I think his time's up, but I think Rangers will still win this game. Hearts looked toothless the other night, not scoring enough goals, striker off of form. I think Rangers have got enough to win this 2-0.
Can you see what Neil Critchley's trying to do at Hearts, Ruffy, with the way that we're playing, particularly the first half?
Yeah, I think he had to change it, the way the results are going. He's trying to get forward players, and Blair Spittle's a big part of that, but the biggest thing is obviously Shankland no scoring. When you've got a striker who's scoring 20, 25 goals and he's only scored, one this year, you're going to suffer. And that'll be the problem. But I think Rangers will be buoyant from that European game. And I like Tam. I think they'll win it quite comfortably, and I think they might win 3-0.
3-0, right then, let's get to our quiz. First question, fastest answer wins, as we know. Which Aberdeen defender picked up Player of the Month for the month of October?
Devlin.
Correct. What, Ruffy? Right. Who will Rangers meet next in
Nice.
the league? Well done. One each.
Calm down.
Let me finish the
Keep scoring.
question.
I know.
Casper Schmeichel represented which national?
Denmark.
Oh, I think no.
That's a draw.
That was a draw point each, two each. Where will the Champions League final be held in May?
Allianz Stadium in Germany.
Correct. The Allianz, home of Bayern Munich.
No. Wait a minute, I composed myself for this last question.
Okay. Who did Hibernian's last win come against?
St Johnstone.
Well done. It was a draw this week.
Happy
There's
with a
no
draw.
tiebreaker.
More than happy with a draw.
Happy with the draw?
That's
Yes,
why.
the points.
Honestly.
It was an away game for me there.
We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with more action to look forward to. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.